Hey, everybody, this is Tell the Truth Sports Radio. I'm your host, Ron Fitch, and I'm going to tell you the truth about the Spence Terence Crawford fight. I am going to introduce you to one of my reporters, Popi Rolon, former really good boxing contender. He was really on his way to being champion. He had a detached retina. Now I got him as a reporter. He knows a lot of boxers. He's in Vegas for me, covered the fight. This is my first venture into Vegas. He's got a lot of good interviews. I had a chance to interview. It's going to be a three-part series. Part one is the press conference in New York City. I interviewed Waili Moses, Shukur Stevenson's trainer. I interviewed the featherweight champion of the world. And we did that. And part two is going to be the Popi in Vegas. I'm going to interview Popi. He has Shukur Stevenson, Ray Mercer. He's got some more people coming out on the show that he has. He keeps sending me interviews, so I'm going to upload all of them for the part two. And part three is post-fight, where he talks to the people who were at the fight and their reaction to who's going to win. Part two, I'm going to break down. I'm going to give my own personal breakdown, but here is the pre-interviews. I talked to Waili Moses, featherweight champion. And me and Popi did the press conference. And then part two is a lot of Popi. He did a lot of great interviews. That's going to be part two.
All the way in the back. Yeah. Terence, all the way in the back. TV cameras up top. Technically, it's like 9%.
Oh, my man. Oh, no, I'm saying tell FEMA. Oh.
Sir.
Ready, please. Down.
Sir. Work time. Work time, y'all. Work time. Work time, y'all. Work time. Cameras in the back. You got it first. All the way in the back, please.
How everybody doing today? I feel like this is the biggest fight in boxing. You look at Terence style, look at my style. You already know. You know our mentalities. He's not gonna want to break. I'm definitely not gonna want to break. But I feel like somebody has to break on fight night. And we need all y'all to support us because, I mean, we gotta show these people in suits, we gotta show these other fighters that there is a reward in taking risks. So the best gotta fight the best, and we gotta show people that, especially people in suits and these other boxers, that you fight the best, it's a reward for that. You know? And I'm just grateful to be in here, man. Very blessed for this opportunity to be the first ever undisputed welterweight champion of the world and fighting a great fighter like Terence Crawford. I'm ready to put on a great show, a great performance, and show people how great I am and show people why I will be one of the best welterweights ever of all time. I'm telling you, do not want to miss this fight. This is going to be a great fight. I'm putting on a great show. I'm going to show everybody why I be breaking people. Make sure y'all tune in July 29th. It's going to be another man down, and it's strap season time.
Ricky Burns, which was a 3-time world champion.
Sure, who? Come on, man.
And I think he went to Russia and beat him, and I think he went to Scotland and beat him. Then he tried to be great and come to Omaha and beat me. I don't think you fought nobody that was a 2-time world champion.
When he ever been tested, he got stopped.
I don't think you ever fought a champion that was two-weight divisions, right?
It doesn't matter. All the titles I took from the champion. So what you saying?
Okay.
Every title I took, Sean Porter,
he was
champion.
He was a one-time one-weight champion.
It don't matter. I'm taking it. I'm taking it.
Well, you got the opportunity.
Like I said, you line them up, I'm gonna knock them down every time. It don't matter what happens, personal life, whatever. Hey, give me him. You sure you want him? Yeah, that's easy work. Get him out of here.
This ain't no easy work.
Hey, you want him? Yeah. Oh, I know it's not easy work. I definitely know it's not easy work.
Okay.
I definitely know that. I ain't that naive. I'm realistic.
Okay.
I love this
I
because
respect
one of the things you made when we were in LA, but you said, hey, look, this guy is so-called the big fish, but I'm gutting him on July 29th. Talk to us about that.
Well, you know, I like to go fishing. Everybody knows those are my hobbies.
Man, that's cat. He's not catching you with no fishing pole.
Hey, listen.
No fishing pole. What does it look like catching Moby Dick with a fucking fishing pole?
They all been caught before.
Not with no fishing pole.
Every last one of them. And July 29th, he gonna be caught too. I got a big enough hook for him. And I'm already reeling him in. July 29th, I'm gonna
have a submarine.
I'm gonna put him on the bank. I'm gonna put him on the bank. I'm gonna gut him and I'm gonna fillet him. Like I said.
Submarine.
All right, we gonna catch him. Well, matter of fact, we already caught him. We just reeling him in right now. And July 29th, that's when we gonna get him to the bank. Probably weigh him, you know, put him on a scale.
You ain't gotta scale me.
Chop his head off. Cut him from, you know, the gut, the little butt up. You know what I mean? Take the little vice grips, pull the skin off, take the little knife.
You know, in the town.
Let me ask you
It's
this.
good.
Let me ask you
Y'all like fish? How many of y'all like fish? I bet your pops like fish too. You like fish, don't you, pops? Come on, you can say you like fish. You know what I mean? Your son a big fish, so he love fish too. You know, so we gonna give his pops.
Yeah, we Jamaican, man. We smoke bud.
I
already know how that go. We eat bacon too, so we gonna smoke your ass up.
Hey, y'all do smoke.
We gonna roll you up and smoke you up too. Hey, y'all get that new boy strain.
Hey, but you know the crazy part about it is, you know what I mean? Y'all do smoke bud in Jamaica. I forgot. But this ain't
new bud strain.
This ain't no bud. This ain't no kind bud. You feel me? This ain't the bud that you just can buy on the streets. It's that marinated bud that you hit one puff, you might be seeing stars like how high. Just know.
Terrence, man.
He talking about his way. You don't do that.
You victorious on the 29th. You will be
We don't smoke wet.
the first male to be undisputed in 2 different weight divisions.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Well, it's gonna mean everything to me July 29th. And I can guarantee you, July 29th, you're gonna see a Terrence Crawford that you haven't ever seen before. Everybody always asking me, is this the best Terrence Crawford? And I said, no, I got a lot to show. Earl may be that fighter to bring the best out of Terrence Crawford. We shall see.
Errol, he said he's going to show him the 29th that this is the Bud Crawford era. What are you showing on the 29th?
Man, he can show what he want to show. You know, it might be his era after this fight. You know, after I beat him, you know, he might go on and win other titles and go up the weight class and win some more titles and do what he do. But he's not winning July 29th.
I still have his number.
You sent him a text and you guys got on FaceTime or something like that?
No, we text.
If he's a great fighter, I'm gonna call somebody a great fighter, and I'm not gonna diminish somebody and be like, "Man, you suck" or "You not good." Like, I'm gonna give you your credit when credit is due. So,
Errol, you talk about body shots. You were talking about breaking them down. You're one of the best body punchers in the sport. How important is that in this type of fight, fighting a smaller fighter, albeit all-time great fighter?
it's always, to me, it's always important breaking the body down and going to the body first, because I feel like you break the body down, everything else will fall into place. So for me, that's always been my style to go to the body then work the head. I mean, the head is a smaller target than the body.
So you want to go to the boxing boys?
I'm gonna try to get Tafino to stay with me. Yeah, I got him. I got Errol. are in the middle of the storm. Provided you win this fight tonight, Saturday against Diaz, you got opposition with Porter, Thurman, or Spencer Brook, or Lemon Chico and Garcia. You seem like you're in the middle of a storm of great competition with all the great fighters and options that you have, provided you win the fight against Diaz.
Maybe.
Now, you're the best combination I've ever seen of a guy that could switch from left hand to right hand. When were you able to learn that skill?
I've been doing that since I was a kid.
Now, is there a possible match for Adrian Broner provided you win?
Who knows? Right now, my main focus is on Diaz.
What do you think the key to this winning against Diaz?
You said what?
The key to winning versus Diaz.
Just being myself.
Okay.
Well, next time we talk, I told you Knicks had a rough year this year.
Okay, I'm here with one of the best trainers in the world, Waili Moses. And I preface that because this show's called Tell the Truth Sports Radio, and I tell the truth. Why are you not recognized as one of the best trainers? Everybody says, okay, Shukur is this, he's one of the best fighters, he's this, and they always talk, but they never mention you.
Well, it depends on where you are, you know. Believe it or not, I got bigger recognition, internationally than I do nationally.
Okay.
Even though, I accomplished a lot of things here as well. But the thing in boxing, it's not about the trainer, it's about the fighter. And, that's the thing that I love, I don't want nobody to know it's not about me or anything like that. But right now, all emphasis and everything is on Shukur. This is his time, you know what I mean? And, I think, all the things that I've been accomplished lately or whatever, it'll start to, speak for itself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to get out there and talk about me this and me that. You know what I'm saying?
But I am. I'm going to talk about you like that on my show. So, I tell the truth. Okay, let's start with Shukur. When he came out of Newark, and there's a lot of great athletes that come out of Newark, but there's a lot of people that didn't make it because of their environment. How did you keep him grounded going from point A to this plateau he's at right now?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, as much as I love boxing, you see, I haven't ever said this. I think I said it one time in life, I never really let Shukur know this is that his dream was really my dream. My dream for him, my son, somebody, from my offspring to go ahead and accomplishing it. And just so it turned out to become his dream. And once it became his dream, that's what it was, everything was about him, not me. You know what I mean? So, I think that, kept me balanced, to concentrate on him and his development and not thinking about myself as well as all the other athletes we were working with at the time, you know what I mean? So, and it's a sport, you'll find out, when you are leaders or teachers or whatever, you want to be an inspiration, you know what I mean? It's not about you. And you want that, maybe that voice to the things that you do to encourage the city, the citizens, the community, particularly the athletes to come back and be a part of that rejuvenation of that thing that you struck into the community like Shukur has done with boxing here in New Jersey, since Shukur started boxing, with myself in the recreation department, Mr. Donnell Redden opened up a gym in Newark. Now, Newark is taking that gym over now. Boxing is back in Newark again, you know what I'm saying? We started to try to bring the Duke's AC facility back in Newark, in the clubhouse, which, happened to be, where my kids started out, which were the original combat kids, you know what I'm saying? So, I think right now everything's starting to come full circle, when you talk about me, nobody noticed me, not only do we notice, but the things that's happening in the community are the things that we need to notice, maybe, we start to see those, maybe you might see me a little bit.
But you know what? This is why we're doing this interview. So this comes into light for what you're doing in the community too, and what he always represents Newark when he's in the ring. Now, I felt like he won in the Olympics. They gave me a silver medal, but to me, he won.
Well, one thing, that was one of the biggest fights, when he and I were together. 2012 to 2015, but really 2011. So, the experience that he and I got from that is really what spearheaded me and really gave me the encouragement to come back and bring that back home. That international experience as a coach, that winning, and going to the Olympic Training Center and learning the things that I learned. I think that was what really gave me the idea to come back and try to revive and start boxing again in the city of Newark. So
That's awesome. Now we're going to talk about the fighters. What did you think about the Delvin Haney Lomachenko fight? Because I had scored at a draw, but I'm going to lean to your expertise.
Well, it was a very close fight. I think Lomachenko let off the pedal in the last one.
That's how the 12th round he lost. That's why I scored at a draw.
Yeah. Well, it was a very competitive fight. You might say that, I favored Devin because Devin was with me for 4 years on the USA team, so, and, I was the only one that trained Devin on that team, other than that. So Devin, I could be kind of biased, on him. I have a very close relationship with his father, and particularly, his grandmother really treated Shukur and treated us exceptionally well. Bill's mother, so you could say I'm biased.
Okay.
So
All right, we're gonna get to that fight. We're gonna get to that potential fight. I want to talk about Valdez when he fought. It seemed like Valdez kind of didn't want to fight him, but Shukur kind of shamed him into that fight. And I knew he tore Valdez up for that fight, and I knew Shukur was gonna win. And everybody's saying Valdez was like the boogeyman because he had an upset knockout. So I don't know Shukur, but I knew Shukur's superior boxing. What was your game plan in that fight?
Well, we know he likes to, keep his head out over his room and come straight in a lot of times. So we knew that would never work. And actually, for that fight, we were particularly working on our hand speed because we knew he tried to emulate fighters, but I don't think you could ever have someone could actually map his hand speed and ring IQ that Shukur has. So we know he would fail there as well. So our thing was to capitalize on the whole point, make him miss, make him pay. Don't let him get inside. Maybe don't let him come in with hit you with his head. So we done all that. Other than that, we knew we could not box him.
Now, the Yoshimo fight, it seems like Shukur, he's one of the best boxers. I've been following and studying boxing since the 1900s. From Henry Armstrong to Jack Johnson, Sugar Ray Robinson. He's one of the best boxers. He hasn't had the resume yet, but as far as just pure boxing, I've ever seen Shukur. He fought his last fight. He added power. It looks like there was a little more power usage to what he was doing he's transforming from a great boxer to a great boxer that can sting you now.
Well, everybody say that, but it's more naturalization, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And, throughout his career, you find out Shukur every 2 years has moved up in weight. So that same thing when we at 130, at 2.5 years, we had to go up. You know what I'm saying? Because, we weren't none of them guys that always that grew and had cut your weight to go down and all that kind of stuff. Because one thing I wanted to do, make sure that Shukur's body developed correctly. So now, in the process of him getting older, you see him getting stronger. And you see a lot of those guys like cutting weight for years are getting weaker. Like Devin was fighting 132 ever since he was, 14 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a whole lot of period of time your muscles don't get to really grow like they should normally because you're constantly cutting weight year after year after year. So, a lot of those things attribute to what is enhancing his performance now. And, nobody never really in Shukur never realized how strong he was in the ring. Give you an example. When you see the ring ever since he started at 122, right? You never seen nobody push him around or throw him around. He pushed everybody else around the ring. Okay? Let's look at the maturization. Okay. You go up another weight class. You see nobody pushing him around. Okay, I'll be one world champ. Okay, all right. I'll be one world. I'm pushing out. That was real easy. Okay. Now we move up again, Here we go. We pushing other guys around, backing them up, boom, boom, boom. So now, you see that maturization as not only mentally coming in, what the mental aspect is catching up to the physical aspect.
Yes.
Okay, that's been there all the time. Okay, all right. Because he's always grew up with the aspect of winning the fight, hitting, not getting hit. I'm gonna beat you on every scorecard. You know what I mean? I'm gonna beat you every round. I'm gonna beat you up every round. Now, with it, he wants to start to knock you out.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. Every great fighter, from Mayweather to Leonard to Shukur Robinson to Ali and your son, they all have their certain trait. You look at their eyes. Look at how they process. Look, when he fights, I can see he's processing it while he's fighting. And a lot of the great fighters do.
Do that again. Do that again.
Yeah.
Try that again. Don't make me pay. Yeah, it's that, you know, and like, you know, that's the one thing that I love about him, you know. See, because a lot of things, like, you know, like you talk about Gleason Gym. We were in Gleason Gym one time, right? And Shukur saw a kid, an older guy, bent on the back. So Shukur thought the guy was crazy because the guy was rolling, hitting the back with the front shoulder, boom. So Shukur was like, Papa, look at that guy crazy. He hitting the back, he ain't even punching. He hitting him with his shoulder. He hitting him with his shoulder. So back then, when we in Gleason's gym, I showed Shukur what that was. How the guy coming in this room, hit him, rolling, hit him with that shoulder. He's gonna come with that head. So now as he got older into the pro stuff that he learned a long time ago, he learned how to use it. Everybody think he just here doing his head. But Shukur doing this, pushing that hand down here, boom, locking you up, boom, all this at once. Oh, you trying to throw that right hand, you knocking that shit over, all this shit from my head. You dig what I'm saying? But
I know what you're saying.
All they just see is this here. They think you're doing this, but you knocking that hand down, knocking, holding that hand here. And now here, knocking this side up, knocking that side up.
It seemed like from round 3 on to when he either knocks out or wins, he's just like, I got you figured out. I got you now. So he could tell that he has got all the style, whatever he come in or where he trying to run from, he got it figured out.
Right, you know.
And you can hear the commentators, even Andre Ward will say that, and the commentators, Joe Tessitore, those guys like, he got him now.
Right. I used to tell a tale about his concentration and discipline in the ring. One day, you know, I was in the ring, and Shukur, this is when he was about 14, 15 years old. Man, everybody, all sides. He boxed like 24 rounds in a row. Mm-hmm. He thought I was because I was over there running like an 18-unit circuit. Boom, 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 boom. That's going to go like almost like 18 rounds, you know. So we over there. So I'm looking at him doing this thing. So we got a camp this last camp. So Shukur wanted to have part here and all out. So, you know, in pro, we do 4-minute rounds. So Shukur done 18 4-minute rounds. So when you break that down by 3, that's 24 rounds. Woo. So that proved my statement to everybody. They didn't believe it.
Yeah.
So when you see we done it, you know, with ease and everybody ready to go, you know, it's time. I gotta put the rain on. That's enough. That's enough. You know? But we all know recovery is the most important. But you know, he works extra hard. You know, I attribute that. You know, ever since he was a kid, one day he came to me and said, "Papa, you ain't gotta take me to run no more. I'm doing this by myself."
That's competitive greatness. That's competitive greatness. That's important.
Yeah. I'll do this by myself. And the biggest thing I understood about him, you know, in terms of the competitiveness, you know, he played pop on the football. You know, I had a thing where, you know, I never wanted to force him to do this here, to box, or do that, whatever it is, you know, because you always want someone to love what they do, you know. So he played football, he played basketball, allowed him to be a kid. He played baseball. Baseball was a sport that he really excelled at. Never had an opportunity.
See, I want to interview Shukur whenever he comes out here. I want to talk to him about baseball.
You don't even remember that. So that was on the T-ball league. That's when over at Immaculate, I had bought him one pitching machine. Pow, that was too slow. I had another pitching machine. Pow, another one. Pow. This boy, he was 6 years old, so that hand and eye coordination was always there. But like I said, he played Power 1 football, and they were having a great season. They were undefeated. Wow, he loved it. So now you're looking at him. boxing and football pop up, hey, I'm locked in. Go to the playoffs. They're undefeated. All right, they're in the championship, right? So they playing the game. Apparently, they lose the championship. Score came home and said, Papa, I don't want to play football no more. I said, you don't want to play football? You got a great season. You don't want to play. Papa, I don't want to play because we lost. And, that play was on the other side of the field. And I couldn't be there. And I can't control it. So if it's a sport that I can't control the way, I don't want to play. If I can't control the outcome, I can want to.
See, he's in the right sport. Now, yeah. Now, before we go, I want 2 fights. Devin Haney and Shukur, if that's possible. And then with the biggest.
Let me say this about a lot of fighters, right? Like I have all respect for all coaches. Some coaches just, are more effective than others. And, some fighters are more effective than others. Like you take Shukur, Farouk Shukur went to the amateurs, right? All of us was in the amateurs at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So that winning, is the criteria that advance you to winning where you can win the most and win everything. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these fighters, they lost. So now, rather than go through those Olympic trials, when you're going to see these fighters that you have lost in the past, man, you don't want to see them no more. So now, you want to take the easy route, go to Mexico, build up your record, and that whatever status that you had, and didn't take the chance at losing, coming out of the amateurs.
Yeah.
Okay, you regain it by going up there, building this shit up in social media, beating a lot of bombs up in Mexico. And it had got so bad, if you look at it, right when that crop came out and started going to Mexico, right? Guess what? No more that. We're doing 50-50 fights in Mexico and said no more. Because they seen what they were doing. Next is done like that.
How come nobody you see on TV after a fight in that way cuts like, yo, I want Shukur Stevenson, I'll knock him out? How come you don't see nobody call him out ever?
Well, it's the politics behind it. It's that risk. The only ones that would do it are the ones that really want to be something or really want to take the chance of doing it. Those are the guys like Shukur. Shukur wants to smoke with that. You're not going to turn anybody. Let somebody say they want to fight him. You're not going to turn him.
Oh, I know he ain't.
Hey, it ain't about the money. He'll tell him come to the gym.
You don't care.
Yeah, like one time, the kid, look, this is what I tell you about. They were in the same area, but B-Hop, right? They fought in the amateurs, right? This kid danced all around Shukur weight class. Fought everybody else, but never would fight in the Shukur weight class. So, Shukur was there in Virginia at the time. So, Shukur pull up on him. Pop out. What you doing here, man? He said, go on to the spot, man. Come on with me, right? So I get in the car with him. We go over to Bergen County. Yeah. And when I get there, we at Don and with B. I said, oh, man, come and start this. Anyway, we get in the ring with him, go home, Shukur start boxing, Shukur start touching him, foul. Started hitting him. He started running around the ring. Yo, I told him, come on, Shukur, I had to stop. Come on, man. Man, scored him a couple of leagues. Man, we had to get out there and leave. That's, one time, he had talked on smack with Shukur, and they boxed. This was like, we had ringside or somewhere, and they boxed out there outside. Shukur beat him up then, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's the same tournament that he had talked so much at ringside. He got in the first round, this young kid broke his nose, beat the hell out of him. And I had never heard nothing from B-Hop no more until next thing you know, he turned pro. And he got all his big name and all this. It's not like B-Hop, it wasn't no surprise to the character he's displayed in his last fight because a lot of people know that's who he really was. I don't want to take anything, I like the kid, but I know him in his own life,
Well, I want to talk about 2 mega fights before we go. Spence Crawford, who wins that?
Listen, I like both the brothers, but I have an alliance with Terrence, so that's my man. If it came to anything, I know one thing that Earl won't be able to walk in and think he can walk through Terrence like he do everybody else without getting hit and getting hit hard. And I know Terrence would rather you kill that motherfucker. Like, you know, motherfucker get you in a chokehold and you got him in a chokehold, you're gonna choke him out before he taps.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. He ain't no quitting him. He gonna go out on the silk. So that's standing there, yo, on that aspect, that phone booth aspect, put 2 of them in the room. Okay, I take Terrence. Yeah, Terrence is that kind of dog.
Okay, this is my second mega fight before we go. Tank Davis, Shukur Stevenson in Vegas, highest pay-per-view numbers ever, all that stuff. Biggest fight with biggest herds, Leonard all over again. What do you think is happening? How could that happen?
You know, I'm always biased. You know who I believe the last man standing. See, there's one thing that I've seen about Shukur. I think Shukur as a 13, 14-year-old going Ukraine. Okay? Going Ukraine. Beat Ukraine, the best fighter they had in the first world championship, right? Okay. This is when Lomachenko was there and the Clips was about to be watching Shukur. Okay. I seen Shukur, his next world championship, be the world champion from Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and what's the other? Azerbaijan. Okay. So Shukur had beaten world champions, right, before he even got to the Olympics. Okay. I mean, he won the gold medal in the youth men's world Olympics. So he had already beat future Olympians already. So those fights, you know, all those kids had the opportunity to win. Like, say, each one of those world championships, Devin was there with me. Okay, and Shukur. Did Devin win? No, he didn't. So it's not like Devin haven't had the opportunity to fight those high-profile fights or anything like that. I'm not taking.
But what about if Shukur did move up the fight Tank with his power and your skill? That would be the biggest, probably the highest growth.
It could be, but let me tell you this. Tank was 15, Shukur was 13.
Oh.
I couldn't stop Shukur from wanting to spar Tank. Every time he said, I want to spar Tank, they would spar. I want to spar Tank, they would spar.
Wow.
That's how I was with them. I didn't have to ask him. Shukur wanted to spar Tank every time he said it. Same thing happened now. But the only aspect, Shukur is bigger, older, and even better now.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And still, you know, like I tell a lot of the world, we haven't seen the best of Shukur yet, you know, because he keeps getting better, you know, like I said, a lot of the things that we go through now, he's getting better at a lot of all that shit, you know what I'm saying?
Nice.
And you're learning that shit more and more, and it's sinking in, and, you know, I'm really fascinated with the things that I teach him and the things that he teaches himself of what I do. He takes everything to a whole nother level. You know, I teach him this here, how to do this here, you know, how to do the umpteen things off of that one thing. So that's what's so fascinating about him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, before we go, what's his next fight?
We can find somebody, you know. His next fight, certain day, they said that there were 3 options. Okay. One, if Devin moves up, Devin would fight the winner of Josh Taylor, right?
And Teofimo.
Okay. The next one would be Lomachenko and us, right?
I would leave that alone for Lomachenko.
Well, you know, Shukur touched him up.
No, he did. That's not a good matchup for Lomachenko.
I don't think he would take it anyway.
He wouldn't take it.
Yeah. And other than that, is a mandatory bout with whoever. Those are the only options. And right now, from what Bob Aaron is saying, he's gonna put the purse up for big. So you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Thanks a lot. You did a terrific job.
Thank you, man.
All right. I'm here with Cordova, the featherweight champion. You beat Acosta. What was the key to you winning that fight?
¿Qué era punto para ganar en Acosta?
¿Cómo así?
¿Cómo le ganaste?
Oh, fue una dura pelea.
sabía lo que él traía, que es un boxeador que tiene mucho poder en sus manos, y pues salí a pelear con él, a pegarle y a salirme y no dejarme pegar.
Well,
Oh, to tell you in English? He says the way he went in is by hitting him really hard and stay positive to beat him.
okay, what is life like being the WBO champion? Now, what is life like now?
¿Cómo te sientes de ser el campeón?
Muy contento y pues más aún con ganas de seguir trabajando y defender el título para buscar pronto una buena pelea, ya sea con Rey Martínez o cualquiera de los campeones de los diferentes organismos.
He says he loves it, wants to keep training harder and harder, and he's ready to defend his title versus Martinez.
Okay, how you think that title shot versus Martinez is gonna go?
¿Cómo crees que el título peleando con Martínez va a ser la pelea?
Pues espero que mi promotora Miguel Cotto Promotion se encargue de toda esa pelea.
He says he wants Miguel Cotto Promotions to make the fight be really good.
Okay, finally, if you win that fight, would you move up to fight some of the bigger boys in the next weight class?
Él dice, tú ganas que cuando tú ganas tú ¿quieres pelear a otra persona más grande?
Sí, mejor. Como Rey Martínez. Rey Martínez, World Champion DWBC.
He wants to fight, after he beats him, he wants to go to fight Rey Martinez.
Nice, thank you.
Welcome.